Hey Smokers, Drunka1 here. Today we're going to see if we can actually set up a solution for media playback in a vehicle using a netbook and Mpxplay. Now I've had a bit of a problem trying to get this to work, but I've actually made a lot of progress, and it's been a slow struggle, but I finally did it. It's actually working. Now you're probably wondering, what the hell are we looking at? What's with all the noise? Well, I got the Xserve back up and running again. I've been doing some testing to see how well it works under load and all this. Right now I'm doing some light duty work with folding at home. If you want, you can join my team for some experimentation down in the description if you want, and see how many work units we can get if anybody's interested in doing that. But really the star of the show here today is going to be this Toshiba here with a really shiny screen. Now this Toshiba is Toshiba NB205. It's a netbook. So I've sort of determined that netbooks, for all intents and purposes, all my projects suck. I tried to get it working with that netbook SSD video. It didn't pan out. I had to put it into another computer for it to work right. So they're just too underpowered. But are they underpowered for DOS? So this is Windows 95 set up specifically to go in to command prompt mode. So, nice, right? And it is really nice. Let me actually show you what's going on underneath. If you take a look at the back here, I take this off. Look familiar? Yeah, this is the King Spec SSD from the 95 cash register video. I didn't really do any modification other than copy Mpxplay onto it and set it so that it only starts up in MS-DOS prompt mode. So I'll put that back on there. And yeah, this is just hanging on by a thread. Now the problem I used to have is I would have a huge difficulty with getting any sound playback. I would try running FreeDOS boot CDs and FreeDOS boot flash drives, and it wouldn't even play back a file on it. Nothing. But using the Windows 95 built-in version of DOS, just running from the DOS prompt, we have here some test files, and they actually do play. Usually it wouldn't even start animating the spectrum analyzer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug the camera directly into the thing here so you can hear it, because right now we are in literally the noisiest possible recording environment I could think of. The Xserve is on folding at home, for Christ's sake. So let's go ahead and see what happens here when I do that. So yeah, there you have it. It is working, and we pretty much had to do no setup. All I had to do was copy some files over, just copy Mpxplay here, copy over, actually that was it. I think I just had to copy over Mpxplay, and I modified. I can actually show you what I did. You can just press escape to get out. So this is the ms-dos.sys file. You can do this to any version of 95 or 98. And if you look right here, it says boot GUI. I put that to 0, and every single time it starts up in DOS mode. The advantage here is we're using a later version of DOS. Let's take a look. That's just going to give us the Windows version. But I believe it's DOS 7, probably the latest one. Now there is a final ultimate version of DOS 7 that I got from WinWorld PC. And for the life of me, I could not get that to boot on this, and I even got it to install on this, but it never managed to get any sort of audio playback. This just works for no reason. I mean, look at this thing. We're just plugged directly into the proprietary Netbook motherboard. You can see it has an Intel Atom processor. It's got a fucking Skype sticker on it, for Christ's sake. Oh my god. And it works on Windows 95 DOS. But here's our problem. So you see this right here? 30 gigs free. This SSD is only a 30 gig SSD. If we want this to be a true media computer, it needs to be at least 100 gigabytes to fit everything. And remember, this includes FLAC playback, MP3 playback. We can even set it up so that it does module playback if we really want to. So, and it's something that also needs to restart fast. So let's go ahead and see how fast this thing will restart. I got the timer here, but you can't see it. So let's just go ahead and do it. Take my word for it. So that was 9 seconds. 9 seconds. Yeah, you can't see it, but it's 9 seconds. Pretty fast. Some people's Windows 10 boots up faster than that. I don't know how. I don't get it. I really don't. I've never been able to get anything booting fast at all. But I mean, this is a netbook and with an old ass everything, so you know, whatever. Point is, it can get up and really fast. So, but how fast can we go here? So this is autoexec.bat. Normally it would run all by itself, but it doesn't even look like it exists. So why don't we just add a line in here? Control-Alt-Delete again. This is going to be a little bit faster because I started the timer later. And boom, we're in Mpxplay. That was only 6 seconds, but you know, it would be. So, and then I could instantly hit the space bar. So what's the point of this? If we have this in a vehicle and it's shut off, see, I can power that off instantly and it's gone. Because it's DOS. You can power off DOS instantly. You power it back on, you start your video, or sorry, you start your vehicle, you power this on, it's hooked up to the car's power and all that. Starting Windows 95, good thing to see your car doing, and bam, you hit it, and you're golden, and you're listening to music on the road. And of course, you can use this to browse the file system and whatnot. Can't use the mouse though, trackpad. Don't really care about that. This is fucking amazing. So all you have to do is, you know, hook this up to your vehicle's aux port, or in my case, it's a cassette tape adapter. I might get some footage of what it looks like working in the car later. So let's go back to our last problem, which was DOS fucking up, I guess. Yeah, I've never seen this before. So, shit. I don't know if we can interrupt the autoexec bat. Yeah, it fucks it up every single time. So, oh shit, we'll just keep restarting it. That's a problem. Luckily though, since we're on Windows, we can F8 and we can do safe mode command prompt only, and it won't actually boot up Mpxplay again, and then we can mess with it. So again, dir, there we are, 30 gigs free. Again, not enough space. What are we doing to fix this? So this is the server. I used the server not too long ago to, I'll just move this out of the way. To make this file, I used the terminal dd command to actually take the Windows 95 SSD from this computer that I made in the Windows 95 cache register motherboard video, and I used it to make a DD image here. And what we can do is we can take that DD image and put it onto the hard drive that originally came in the netbook. Yeah, this is a 160 gig drive here. So that's not bad. I think my entire music library would definitely fit on that. You know, I might have to make a few concessions, you know, probably won't be able to keep all of them, but hey, that's not bad. So yeah, in the meantime, I was doing the protein folding and all that, so, well, if you guys want to join that team, it's right there. Join the Jiraga Run folding team. I wanted to make a video where I had a whole bunch of Mac Minis doing this, but I really only have a couple that are actually suitable of doing this, not the whole fleet. Folding at home requires a 64-bit processor, and most certainly does not work on PowerPC, but that's besides the point. So what are we going to do with the file that I have here, which is this 95 image file? What we do is we restore that to this using DD again, and then we expand the, yes I know, FAT32 partition all the way out to 160 gigs, and pray that that fucking works. And we may have a lot of problems with having a drive size larger than 32 gigs, but man, we gotta try it. We gotta make something happen, and at the very least, maybe we'll have less than, maybe we'll only have 30 gigs of music in this thing, but man, if we get it working, that's gonna be beautiful. So let's go ahead and hook this drive up. Okay, so I got the drive in this sled here. I'm gonna go ahead and power it on, and the first thing it wants to do is use it as a time machine backup, and it can just fuck right off. Okay, so let's go ahead and start this. And there's our Windows NTFS. We don't want that anymore. Okay, so we unmounted our drive, and now we want to commence the DD operation. Now this is pretty hefty, but I think I'm getting a better hold on this. DD input file system, users draga / 95.image. Oh shit, I forgot the equal sign, fuck. And the output file system is going to be /dev /disk2. Now this should be all we need to do, but I think there's a way you can see a progress bar of some sort. Let me check on that. I honestly have no idea. The page I was looking at didn't have any information on that. So let's proofread it one more time. I'm going to let this run overnight. It's already going to run overnight anyway, so we'll just do that. It didn't take very long. It took about an hour to actually extract from the SSD, so we should be good here. Okay, so sudo dd input file system users draga and 95.image output file system dev disk2, and we've confirmed that dev disk2 is in fact the fdisk partition scheme. Disk2, we have NTFS here. We don't want to use Google Chrome's disk image, and we don't want to use our main shit for the excerpt up here, which is disk 0. So we're pretty safe saying disk 1. So enter the password, and we're rocking. And as you can see, the light on our sled here is blinking away, and it's going to do that for a while until it's done, and then it should resemble the same size as our 32 gig in the Netbook currently. When we're done, we'll need to switch over to probably another machine to expand the partition of FAT32 all the way out to 160 gigs and hope it doesn't break on us. Start that motherfucker right back up, and then we'll be ready to hop right in the car. And hopefully, when I'm going to work tomorrow, I'll be able to actually show you a video of it working in the car right when I'm about to take off to work. And then I'll ride with it all the way to work to see how it works out as a media player. And, you know, that could be pretty cool. So let's let this finish, and I'll be back. Okay, so looks like it's all done. Let's take a look at disk utility. The old Mavericks outdated disk utility, that is. And lo and behold, we got it. It's even mounted here. Actually, it's not mounted, it's just over here. It should be up here. I don't know what's going on there. But see this word here? It says label. That was the volume label of the 32 gig SSD. Let's take a look in the Finder here. There it is, and there are our Windows 95 files. Let's eject that because we want it. So I got the sled right here. I'm going to plug it into this Linux laptop here. Okay, so here's G-parted. This thing has saved my ass so many times. It's like my secret weapon here. So you have a 160 gig drive, and see all of this? It's unallocated space here. This is the size of that image. So in order to unlock this, we actually have to unmount this. So let's take a look. These are Windows 95 files again. You can even see the Windows 95 logo there on the logo.sys. Resize, move. So this is not a good idea to do. Like, I'm well aware FAT32 is not designed to go past volume sizes of 32 gigs as far as I know, and expanding it out this far would be heinous. Now, Aqua Cuckoo has run a Windows 98 machine for a good amount of time with, like, I think he has a 120 gigabyte hard drive in it, and it's been FAT32, and he's been okay. So we're gonna have to hope, because there's no other way this can reasonably work. We need a lot of space for that music, unless we're willing to attach some sort of external storage, and I don't know how Windows 95 DOS is gonna like that. So we have an image of this, so even if we fuck this up, it's not that big of a deal. Alright, so we're growing it all the way out to 150 gigs. And then let's see if that works. Now the other option would be to partition it about 5 different ways and have all the music spread across all the a bunch of 32 gig partitions. But do I really want to be sitting in the car going disk to disk to disk to disk to disk to disk? And loading it on there is going to be a pain in the ass too. Yeah, the light is definitely blinking here. Okay, looks like it's done. Let's see if it'll remount it. It very well may not. It does successfully remount. Okay, so it turns out that both a Mac and a PC can't read it. It's just Linux. So maybe it's still going to be bootable. I have no idea. We may have fucked it up. I may need to do a restore again. Yeah, that's going to be crappy. But shit. So let's go ahead and install this here. Oh shit. Really convenient door. Best door I think I've seen in a while here. Well, that's not going to work. Will this fix the problem? I have no idea. Apply all operations. We're making 4 partitions here. That's the maximum we can make. Oh my god. Jesus, it actually did it. Yep, all 4 disks are in the side here. Good gravy. Okay, so every single partition mounts except for the one we need, the Windows 95 bootable one. So, I'll have to do a DD to this again, and then add in the other partitions to make it usable. But for the purposes of this demonstration, we still have an SSD that has Windows 95 on it, so I'm just going to put the old SSD back into it, and then we can do sort of a demonstration from there. I'll load some music files onto the SSD. Got some music on it, probably like a gig worth of music. A couple albums, something like that. It'll be enough to get us from point A to point B. Instant sound. Instant music. So this is ready to go. Got some tunes on there. I don't think this is going to play out of the internal speakers. I don't really even want it to. This should work. So, enough for a demo anyway. I'll try to figure out all the partition stuff later. See if we can get stuff split across multiple drives. Apparently you can open more tabs like this. So, I can actually switch between the tabs up here. You can close them too, sort of like a web browser. And maybe I could have the different drives between the tabs and switch between the tabs for the different drives. And, you know, it'd be really inconvenient, but I mean, if I could get it working, this could be very nice. The idea of just having it on, boom, and there's your music. It's sort of like a big iPod, really just running Mpxplay, and I really like that a lot. I've wanted to do this for a while, so let's cut to actually using this in the car. Okay, this is it in the car. I tried recording it this morning. The lighting was kind of shit. I can still see it. Yeah, it's pretty dark. Volume down. So yeah, I got kind of slapdash, poorly repaired shit here, but it works. And I'm going to be figuring out some way on how to mount it in this truck. Thanks for watching, everybody.